What is up, YouTube? My name is Alex Panega. Today I want to be going over the differences between Behance and Dribbble. I'm a very big active member on Dribbble. I have been now for the past couple years. I think it's where I got a lot of my, my beginning traction in my design career. I picked up a lot of clients over the years, a lot of my opportunities, designer friends, just a lot of my, just getting my name out there in the industry as far as design is concerned came from Dribbble. And I just think that there's a big difference between Dribbble and Behance. I just want to talk about it, just give my personal feedback on if you're a new designer, which platform you should invest more time on. And also if you're more of an age designer, if you've been around the industry now for some years, should you be spending time more on Behance or Dribbble, dividing it with both. And I'm going to go over my personal opinion and what I think you guys should do. So let's go straight into this. I have Dribbble and Behance up. To give you guys some context, I've been on Dribbble now since, I want to say 5 years, 5-6 years, and I started posting a lot. I looked at waybackmachine.com, which is where you can see how much you've posted. You can see kind of the activity along the years. I think I had like 1 year, which was maybe 1 or 2 years ago, where I was not posting actively that year. But other than that, I want to say if we did some math, I probably posted once per week for about, I want to say 2 to 3 years. And recently in this year, 2018, I've actually been having a set goal on myself to be posting every single day. It's very hard to keep up with, right? It's not easy to post every single day, especially your own work, stuff that you actually want to share with the community, not stuff that maybe you did a logo that's for your friend and it's not up to par with some of the standards of your design, so you don't share that. So it's been very difficult, and if you guys want me to go into how I was able to keep posting every day, and I'm still posting every day, I can do a whole nother video about that. But coming back to the differences between Behance and Dribbble. Dribbble is a community for designers, Behance is a community for designers. The difference that I've noticed, and this is my personal opinion, I don't go off of other people's opinions. I'm sure people have been able to gather tremendous amounts of clients through Behance, tremendous amounts, be able to grow their audience on Behance and all that. For me, personally, Dribbble has been where it's at for me. To me, the community is a lot more active, number one. It's also easier to find what you're looking for. On Behance, I'll show you guys right here. When I go to search for something like, let's just say I did a stats tutorial yesterday inside Sketch, and Sketch crashed on me during the video. You guys should go check it out. But if I just put like stats, and I want some UI of stats, I get stuff that it has nothing to do with stats sometimes. Like, for instance, this Chinese looking thing, I have no idea what this is, right? This is probably like a poster. It looks like web. Yes, there's some stats going on, but when I type in stats, this is really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for clean UI of stats right here. So this is actually one of the things that I showed you guys how to design in the stats and graphs tutorial yesterday. But when I type in stats, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for pixel perfect visual bangers that is just going to draw my attention in. And when I go and do my Dribbble search for stats, I find it immediately. When I do my Dribbble or my Behance search for stats, I get Chinese letters with weird graphs, and not even graphs, just radials that I have no idea what that means. Even this is more of a web application. Let's see if there's even stats on this post, which I'm not seeing any, and I'm like halfway down this thing, and now I'm towards the end and there's no stats. And for some reason, Behance decided that if I type in the word stats, this should be above the fold of what I'm seeing. So overall, for when it comes to looking for inspiration, Behance has never been where I look. It's too complicated. It feels like it's just outdated. The search sucks, and that's just my personal opinion. It's nothing against me being such a big Dribbble advocate that I want to diss Behance. It's me being honest. The second thing is, a lot of the community is more based around, it feels like on Dribbble, everyone has a fair shot, right? I might see a Dribbble user who posts something for the 7th time, it rises to the top, and I become a fan of that designer because I'm introduced to their work. There's no place to do that as far as what I'm familiar with on Behance. It feels like the only people that I constantly see on Behance are the 5 to 10 designers who have the largest following on Behance that are somehow collaborative with every single project that I see in like the top 10, whatever I'm searching, or even like, browsing. And that's just my personal opinion. I think everyone has a fair chance, no matter where you stand as a designer on Dribbble. If your design is good enough, it goes to the top of the popular page. You can gather a lot of followers that way. And if you do that, a consecutive amount of times, your followers grow, you start building a fan base, and then, you can post basically anything and you have your core fan base, and it's just a matter of how good you get your designs from there. Behance, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't posted a lot on there, right? Like if I go to my portfolio, I have 3 posts. When I did my Adobe interviews a couple months ago, they actually asked if I set up my Behance portfolio, so I did that out of courtesy, and I started posting, and I'm still going to post on Behance. I think it's great for case studies. That's been my personal preference, is I like to post my case studies on there. Dribbble only allows for like shorter shots, right? Just snippets and previews of what you're working on. Behance is like the whole project, and I like to direct people to that. So you can see I have my Fortmatic case study here, which goes over a project I did over the summer where we did like crypto type projects for a new startup based out of San Diego, and I did everything from the shirts to the backgrounds to the logo, all the way to some of the UI elements on the actual product. And this was a huge project. So for Dribbble, I broke it apart, right? Like you can browse my Dribbble and see that if I just type in Fortmatic, you will see that I posted little snippets, right? Some of the brand manuals, the logo, the shirts, the patterns, and then Behance is actually where I put like the final version of the case study. So I actually like Behance for case studies. You do have to break it apart. It does take a little bit longer time to get your shots ready, and shots are what I'm referring to as what you upload to Behance, just because there are certain parameters, certain pixel dimensions that you have to use, and you actually have to break it apart. So what's unique about Behance is I actually have to, when I'm exporting this case study, it's not just one long case study. I actually have to break it into parts so that if a user clicks it, they can arrow through and just see, different things. And that's kind of annoying, right? Like it does suck that you can't just upload this one big thing. You have to chunk it apart and upload it. It does take time. And maybe that's why I'm not as active right now on Behance rather than Dribbble. But overall, guys, I think if you're a new designer coming in the game, I think both are great. If you're new and you're trying to grow your audience and really trying to get into the community, I think Dribble's where it's at right now. It's where it has been now for the past 5 to 6 years. I built and I'm talking from personal experience. I built my whole, I don't know if you call them fans, because we're not like artists, like music artists, but like my core audience when it comes to designers has all been built on top of Dribbble. I've had little splashes of gathering different followers from different things, such as Product Hunt, a couple from Behance, a couple from Twitter here and there, but for the most part, Dribbble has been where it's at for me. And I just think it's because the community is a lot more active. It's invite only, so you're not gonna have like weirdos come on. It is invite only. The Dribbble community, as far as the people who regulate that community, they're very strict. I remember one day I was commenting like on a lot of different posts, just because I was just like, oh, I've never commented before. Let me get involved in the community. And by post like 8, my account got suspended, and Dribbble reached out and was like, you're commenting too much, we're afraid that you're like trying to do this to like gain some followers or something, so we've banned your account, but we're going to reactivate it, but just don't do that again. So lesson learned, obviously I never did that again. But that just shows you how involved Dribbble is trying to keep their community safe, trying to keep their community, really good and to the highest standard that they can. And I think that's how it's going to be, even after the acquisition, even after, some of the higher ups in the actual company and Dribbble getting shifted around. I still think that Dribbble is the best place to grow your audience. If you're a designer, I think it's one of the best places to network and just kind of collaborate with other designers. I've had some of the designers that I've looked up to for years reach out to me personally on Dribbble and try to collaborate on some projects, and that's been an awesome experience to like be, basically growing up by studying and mimicking people's work and basically calling them like your design heroes, and then having them reach out to you, collaborating. That's something that I've never experienced on Behance. I'm not saying I never will, but just based off of what I've seen over the years, Dribbble is where it's at. So that's kind of my personal feedback on Behance versus Dribbble. It's just my personal feedback, my review. It's not anyone else's. So if you guys are a Behance fanatic, I'm not trying to dish you guys in any way. This is my personal experience with Dribbble. So that's all I got to say today, guys. If you guys have any questions, email me in the email below. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on Behance versus Dribbble. It's a conversation I hear a lot when I'm just out with design friends and stuff like that. So it is relative. And yeah, so any questions, email me, email below. Otherwise, YouTube, I'm out.